Hey, I'm Krista Wax. You are listening to MSP Sound on KFAI, and I have Terry of the Belfast Cowboys here via Zoom. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Considering everything, I'm doing great. Yeah.
Right. That's the right attitude, right? It's like everything else is happening, but it all doing okay.
Yep. I think we're on the rebound here.
Here's hoping, right?
Yeah.
Oh, fingers crossed. Well, I have you on the show because Belfast Cowboys have a brand new album called This Magic Night coming out Friday, May 7th.
Yes, indeed.
So exciting. Why don't you tell me a little bit about this? This was part of a nice audio, a little audio.
Yeah, you can't really see it. Can't see because of the right, but oh well, it was a good.
It was like you had it right there. I love it.
You froze, Krista. You froze on me. Okay, good.
You froze on me too. I know.
You're back. This is going great so far.
Oh, we are quite the pair. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. Yeah, bummer to anyone who missed out on the pre-game that we had here where I could not figure out my audio.
Yeah, you missed some riveting YouTube video on that. Sorry, folks.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe with a KFAI donation, I'll send you the video. It's
there you go. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, brand new album out. It was from a live stream show.
Right. Yeah.
That, recorded on March 17th, 2020.
St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. And that's the band's 18th birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we just turned 19 last month, obviously, and the music venues shut down the day before or 2 days before. It was like the order came out that the venues had to close up on March 15th or 16th. So our big birthday party that was planned wasn't going to happen, and so we decided, hey, why not do it anyway? And I shot a message to my buddy Rob Hillstrom and asked him if he might possibly be able to make room for us to come into his studio on that Tuesday night. And such a nice guy. He shuffled some stuff around and charged me a really reasonable price, and he let us come in and invade his studio for 4 or 5 hours, and I told him to just roll tape and also do a live stream and make the recording the more important part. I didn't really care what I cared, but it was secondary. The live stream was secondary because I knew that wouldn't last for long, and it's just a momentary thing. But my hope was that we'd get a song or two that we'd be able to release. And when I heard the recording and Rob's setup, I was absolutely blown away. I couldn't believe how good the band sounded there. And because we were playing all together, I think that had something to do with it too. Because bands always say they're going to do that, but with a 9-piece band and people making mistakes, you start to say, let's just record the 5-piece and then add the horns later. But we just played this all together like it was a show, and it was a show. And at the end, we had over 40 tracks, and then it was just a matter of whittling down, and taking out our favorites, and so that's what we did.
You whittled down from 40 tracks, and the digital version of this will have 23.
Right. Yeah.
That's incredible. Like I was kind of, I was listening to it earlier and I'm like, oh, how many tracks is this? And it just kept going. And oh my God.
Yeah. We haven't put out a CD in 6 years. So I figured, we've got some pretty loyal fans, especially locally, and kind of owe it to them I mean, the rule of thumb is to not put too much music on your CD, and we broke that rule pretty obviously. And just in case it takes another 6 years for us to put something else out, we'll have this for them to listen to until then.
It'll definitely tide people over. Well, that's incredible. I can't believe you actually recorded 40 songs.
Hope so.
Is this a typical, I haven't seen y'all live yet. Is this a typical, like the Belfast Cowboys, like you guys just play for hours? Is this in normal times in the before?
Yep. That's kind of our thing. We don't hit them with quality, but we get them with the quantity. No, it's quality too. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I always like to try and give the people their money's worth when they pay a cover to see our band. And so as long as I can hold up, if I'm able to keep singing, and the horn players are the next ones that get more tired, their lips get tired, but everybody else, and the drummer, the drummers can also need a break, but we usually are all pretty good at, even though we're a bunch of old men, we're pretty good at pushing through and keeping going, because it's fun. You work all day and you want to get off of work, but when you're playing music, it's not really work. It would be if we were grinding out a tour and playing every night and sick and sore and not able to perform, but we space it out pretty well. We play a lot, but I'm going more for better shows rather than that's one thing the pandemic has taught me, is that I need to cherry pick shows a little bit more. I've generally said yes to everything up until now for the last, been playing shows for 40 years. And I was so desperate for gigs in the early years that it just was against my nature to turn anything down. So now I've got to change my nature and just take the ones that I really want to do.
Wow. Well, that's some perspective. I think that'll change it. The quality of this album is incredible. This was, live stream. But I know, like you said, the recording was, the priority. And you can tell it just sounds amazing. And the amount of tracks. Oh my gosh, when are you guys going to play? I want to come see you play now.
Well, we've got our release party at the Hook and Ladder on May 7th, but it's sold out.
Oh, bummer.
Sorry.
I was like, okay. That's my luck.
But we are going to start playing as a 5-piece again at the Driftwood on every Tuesday night starting May 4th. Wow. And I think the horns are probably going to show up, and they're just the Driftwood can't pay a 9-piece band, so we might have a few horns wander in and out, but that's kind of our paid rehearsal every week, or it was before March 17th of last year. And we would just try out songs or make up songs on the spot, as would sometimes happen. It's really fun. The Driftwood, they really give us a lot of rope with which to hang ourselves, and a lot of the time we don't.
It's good.
And when we do hang ourselves, it's the comedy relief is okay too. So we have a very forgiving crowd.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so Driftwood, check it out.
Yep.
Well,
7:00 every Tuesday.
That's a nice time.
Yeah,
it's a nice time.
We like to get to bed early.
Right. I'm trying not to say that, but that's totally what I mean. Like, oh, that's doable.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, what was it like that night? I think a lot of us just thought, it's just gonna be like a couple weeks that we're just gonna have to hunker down. I will just keep praising this album because it's so good and the quality's so good. You never, when I saw, okay, this had been recorded March 17th, 2020, I just let out this, wow, that's heavy. That's very heavy. I don't. And then the album is so fun, and you have all these great tracks on it. So you never. I mean, I'm very fascinated by that whole March 17th. This was recorded in 2020. What were y'all feeling that night?
It was scary. We had just played that Saturday night on March 14th. What was our last live show as a full band for a long time. Well, at all for a full time. Other than my live streams from here, I kept going every Tuesday night. Tomorrow night, sorry folks, this is recorded earlier, but tomorrow night is April 27th, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be our last live stream from my little apartment here, and our guitarist Dan Kowalski joins me every week and sits there and plays the hell out of his guitar, and we learn new songs every week, and I've got just stacks of lyrics here that I've printed out for this will be week number 59 that we've done a Tuesday live stream, and the first one was the one that resulted in the album. So we've had some continuity there, and it's been really fun. But that night, to your question, that night we didn't, like you said, we kind of hoped, well, maybe 2-3 weeks or a month, and then we'll get back to the Driftwood. So we didn't know what we were getting into. Our keyboardist, Joe Lascota, who, by the way, he's on every track. He's the only sober member of the band. So it kind of shows on the recording, because he's just aces on every single track, even the ones we didn't use. But he came up to me and he said, I think this is the perfect time to do this. And I kind of looked at him, what do you know that I don't know? And boy, was he right. I'm so glad we did that. I'm really glad, especially with Rob's recording. It just came out far better than I could have ever hoped it would. And people did tune in for the live stream, and we've got a little nonprofit called Foothold Twin Cities that we started. My partner Amber and I started over 5 years ago now. We raised over $7,000 that night online. So it was already a win before I even heard the recording. So we left there feeling great,
Wow. I'm still processing all of this. It's just so much to take in. Terry.
I'm so glad that you noticed. I mean, I keep thinking, will people even pay attention to the fact that we recorded this right as lockdown was happening, and you got the concept, so that makes me happy. You're like the first one I've really talked to about the album that's heard it since it's come out, so thanks.
Oh, sure. I love it. I mean, I was rocking out to it earlier today as well, and I was like, that's so fun. It's such a great vibe. And I'm like, what? This was live? What? I mean, I just had to keep rereading everything. I'm like, what am I reading? What am I listening to? Because the quality is just so good, and it's so fun. And of course, like my ding dongness is going to show. I'll just say, like, my Monday was showing where I was listening. I'm like, this sounds like Van Morrison. I clearly was not looking at the track listing, and it's like, oh yeah, Van Morrison. I was like, oh, I mean,
yeah, there are. That's our kind of our our base. The Belfast Cowboys. We're named after Van Morrison, and that's how we got started as just a Van Morrison cover band, and we've branched out a little bit. We mix in originals but it's our wheelhouse. Our audience loves to hear the band songs, and we still, when we get back to playing shows, I'm sure we'll still hear a lot of requests for Tupelo Honey and Brown Eyed Girl and Into the Mystic and things like that. So, and that's okay. It's been a long time. People deserve to hear what they want to hear, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. In the album has a couple new original tracks on there too. Mm-hmm. And those are, I mean, yeah, I guess I'm still, time is so hard to for me to wrap my brain around these days.
Well, yeah, and it's a lot of music to listen to. People get telling me we should put it out on vinyl, and I'm like, well, okay, I had to cut this down to 16 tracks for the CD. To do it in vinyl, it'd be like nine tracks or something like that. That's a big chop job. So I think the next one will come out on vinyl because it'll be mostly original songs and fewer of them.
Yeah. That sounds very cutthroat. I'm sure. Cut it down to 9.
It'd be tough. And to pick the ones you want on there, it's fun to do, but it's still kind of like, this was hard enough. Cutting it down to 16. I had some help. I asked some close friends that have good musical ears, and my brother, and they were a big help. So
that's good. So it's kind of a consensus. A committee came together.
Well, it's just I took it. Ultimately, it was my decision, and Dan played a role, and Rob, Rob Hillstrom. We talked a lot about the songs and what was going on in them, and there were some really hard decisions to make, like a rhythmic mistake on one song that kind of made it just a song I really wanted to have in there, but we just finally left it on the scrap heap. There's a rhythmic mistake on one that made it on the CD, but I'm not going to mention that one. You guys can look for that yourselves. But it's one of my favorite songs, so we just said, screw it, put it on there.
I'm gonna go back and listen again. I'm gonna try to find it, like the Easter egg hunt. Like,
yep. Shoot me an email when you think you found it.
I probably won't find it. I'll probably be like, that's all like an artistic choice.
I don't know. I think you might find it pretty easily if you listen close enough.
I feel bad. I saw a musician, I won't say who it was, and I back in the olden days when we could go to shows, I could take video, post it on socials, and apparently it was a part where they made a mistake and they made a comment like, seriously, you like posted the video where you made a mistake. I'm like, I didn't even notice.
You couldn't tell, right? Yeah, I know. I thought it was supposed to do that. Right.
Just being artistic.
Yeah. Sounded cool to me.
Yeah, like I thought it was fantastic. So yeah, let's sneak that in there. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, what else is happening with the Belfast Cowboys? I mean, what else? You have a big album coming out. And now you're going to start performing again. What else? Tell me.
Yeah. That's about it. So good night, everybody.
That's all? No.
I'm got my keyboard here, and I'm just there's a new Van Morrison track that I really like finally, because he kind of went off the deep end with this No More Lockdown thing, and boy, I didn't even listen to the songs that he put out. It just like, what were you thinking? So he's got a new one that's out for this, coincidentally, and I swear it's a coincidence, it's coming out on May 7th, his new album, as well as the Belfast Cowboys. So great, I think we're probably going to be overshadowed a little bit, but that's okay. But anyway, the third song that they put out as a single leading up to the album release is called Love Should Come With a Warning. And it's like classic Van, R&B tinged, just great. And the lyrics are pretty good. And so I think I'm going to learn that one, and Dan and I are going to give it a shot tomorrow night for the first time. If it goes well, we'll try and get the band to learn it too for our CD release party. I'm letting out too much information, but oh well.
I love it. You get the scoop here.
Yeah. It's fun. That's the one thing about these live streams, is that I played piano back when I was a teenager, and the first gig I ever played when I was 18, I played piano on one song on that. I think it was one song. And but then, after that, I played guitar, and when I was in bands, and I'd always play guitar because pianos are pretty clunky to drag around to gigs and rehearsals. So it's a lot easier with guitars. But that's when when I first started doing the live streams from here, I thought, hey, I should try and play a song on piano as long as it's not too hard. But as I got into it more, and I'd learn a couple of songs every week on the piano, and I'd always shy away from keys. Do you know anything about playing piano and about how? No,
I wasn't good at it.
okay. But do you know, like, if you're in the key of C, it's all white notes, right?
Oh, okay.
Or, you know, the key of F, there's only one black note you have to worry about, or the key of G, there's only one black note. Well, I was always afraid to play songs in keys that weren't in C, F, and G, pretty much. And then I realized if you play a song in F sharp, it's all black keys, and duh, you know. But I was like, ew. When I would pick out songs to play on piano when I was a kid, I can't play that. It's way too many sharps and flats, you know. So, but I realized finally this year, I'm still learning at this late date, and wow, it's been really fun just learning how to play the piano again, and I'm better at the piano now than I ever have been in my life. So it's it was a revelation, and I'm kind of sad about. I mean, when you have Joe Lascota playing the keys for the band, there's no reason for me to try and do it. But I'm a little sad to have to stop working on this and playing the piano. I maybe I'll figure out a way to do it. Maybe Dan and I will do a pop-up live streams from here once in a while just for kicks. So yeah, that'd be fun.
But absolutely. Yes. Keep those live. I mean, not a weekly live stream, of course, but
No.
in memoriam of live stream shows that we're now like a pop-up would be great.
Oh, you know, and it's just this year is just going to be in my mind centered around all the stuff that happened and the Tuesday nights. I mean, and actually the one that wasn't a Tuesday night was a Monday night because the Cowboys were supposed to play at the Lake Harriet Bandshell on Memorial Day last year. So Dan and I surprised everybody by going to the Lake Harriet Bandshell and just playing a live stream from there. But 3 miles away, George Floyd was being murdered.
Ooh.
So that, I mean, that kind of ties, I know exactly where I was, you know, and the 2020 election was happening when we were here, you know, we were playing and sweating it out. And then we celebrated the next week. And there are a lot of different things that happened just through these Tuesdays. And it was, you know, all things considered, it was a really special year. It could have been so much worse. And really, I really feel lucky that I started doing this and that these good friends of ours, these diehard fans, they tune in. There are people that tune in every single week, you know. My mom, you know, my sister in Indianapolis, they chat in the comments, hi, we're here, you know. And they'd have requests. It was so much fun. It has been so much fun. So I feel really lucky.
That's incredible. You've been able to build quite a connection with so many people over this past year and share so many moments. I mean,
yeah.
When we thought COVID was the worst thing that was going on, and then it wasn't.
Right. No, well, and I was playing here alone and playing a John Prine song when it came up in the comments that John Prine had just passed away. I mean, and that was like a shot to my gut. I mean, I can't even look back at the video because it was so sad. But I mean, it's been a heck of a year, and I mean, a lot of these people I was close to already, but I feel even closer to them now, and haven't seen many of them, you know, maybe once or twice over the last year. But looking forward to being able to see them in person and have them laugh at us when we're playing music again. That'll be great.
Love that attitude. That's great. wow. I'm sure that these Tuesdays have just meant a lot to so many people. And I mean, thank you for your service. Not quite, but I mean, it is like we're all kind of looking for stuff like new music because what's been helping me get through. Haven't been able to tune into too many live streams.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna have to tune into yours tomorrow night for sure.
Good.
I got to get a taste of this. That came
Last chance.
Yeah, last chance.
Well, and I'm also I put all the old ones up on YouTube. I don't know, there are a couple of people that just are, ambulance chasers that want to see how bad it was or something. But no, but it's up there for posterity, really. And I started a YouTube channel, and every one of our live streams are up there for better or worse, warts and all, and it's fun. It's kind of a nice document. One of my kids even finally watched one of the live streams a couple weeks ago. So it's like I asked them after about 50 weeks of this, have you guys ever, checked this out? Or no. It's not their thing, They listen to video game music. That's their thing. They love video game music.
Someone's got to make that music.
It's something to be into. Who am I to say?
Right. We all have our thing.
Right.
Wow, well, that's so exciting! This brand new album coming out. Where can people get it? You can get the physical CD.
At our shows, I'll bring it around to Hi-Fi Hair and the Fetus and good record stores around town. Other than that, they can email me at bird@belfastcowboys.com. Bird, like a bird that flies around. That's my nickname. And you can PayPal me $10 or $15 if you want it mailed, and I'll send it to you. Otherwise, at our shows, that's the best way to do it. And I bought a square card reader because all of a sudden I realized nobody's going to have any cash at these shows, are they? People, it's gone cashless here. So I better get that figured out before May 4th, I think, and then May 7th for the big one.
Definitely. I know. I think I use cash. I still have money in my wallet from pre-pandemic. Like I haven't.
Me too. I've got some bills in there that are just waiting to be spent. And we'll accept cash though too, folks. If you bring it,
Yeah.
You'll have that pre-pandemic cash in your wallet. Yeah. Bring it to the driftwood and the hook and ladder. Hey, I should mention also, Krista, that we do have a Lake Harriet Bandshell show set up for this year. And they originally wanted us to come back on Memorial Day, but the band was a little queasy about that. So they agreed to let us come there on Friday, July 23rd. So hopefully a lot of you guys will be vaxxed by then and feeling safe and come on down to the lake for a free show.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's we don't, just between you and me, we don't make a nickel at those shows. They don't pay for bands. Park Board doesn't pay the bands, but it's the best show of the year. It's so worth it for us. We just love it. And we've drawn like 5,000 people to our shows in the past few years. So it's, who cares about the money? It's really about, wow, we get to play in front of a huge crowd and they love it. So everybody has fun.
And a great space. I mean, Lake Harriet Bandshell, it's just so iconic.
It's my favorite place in the world. Really, it is Lake Harriet. That's where I live, See? There's the lake.
Wow.
It's a great apartment when you're looking out the window, but you can't throw a football in here or anything like that. You can't play catch.
Bummer. I can't do that at my space either. Like,
okay, good. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I could bounce bounce something like a tennis ball off the wall or something.
Yeah, I could probably do that. There, a couple of mice tried to move in, but they left because it was too small.
Like, we can find something better.
There's another one next door.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Well, Terry, congrats on the album.
Thanks.
Album coming out this Friday, this Magic Night. Very magical. March 17th, 2020 recorded. Whew. I still have to keep doing that. That's just a moment in time.
Right on. Yeah. And that my friend Craig was the one that came up with the title, because we actually have Moondance, Van Morrison's Moondance, on the album. And when we play it live, I always want to concentrate on the moment, and at the end, when Van says, on a magic night, I always say, on this, and I repeat it over and over again, and the horns and the drums join me on it. And so Craig said, you should call it This Magic Night. So we did.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love it. I love Moondance. That's one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, great. So you're and digitally, where can people find this digitally? So if you get, maybe I'm selling this wrong. This not my.
No, it's okay.
The digital version has 23 tracks.
Right. Yeah. That's the deluxe expanded edition.
Whoa.
And really, I don't care if you can't afford the $10 for a CD, just go to Spotify and you can listen to it there, or whatever streaming service you use, Apple or Tunes or whatever it is, Pandora. It'll be on all of those on May 7th. So just dial it up and listen to it. If you like it and you have $10, come and grab a CD at one of our shows, would you please? I'd appreciate it. I printed up 1,500 of them, and I really don't want to have to hang on to these boxes for years.
Well, I'm sure you'll get a lot of them out of the way at that Lake Harriet show, but
yeah,
before then would be good too, I'm sure.
No, that's okay. I'll let them last in the summer, and after that, I'm going to raise the price on them. No.
Good idea. So we have Tuesdays starting May
4th.
I'm so confused. I'm like, that's right. We're April. Next month is May.
Right. I should mention, just to confuse you a little more, when we play as a smaller band without the horns, we're billed as St. Dominic's Trio, which started also 18, 19 years ago. And just because there are so few venues that can hold a 9-piece band, and I wanted to play more gigs, so I just set up the smaller version of the band, and it's also a lot more or a lot less reliant on Van Morrison music, although we can still play it. It's just that we use it kind of to stretch our horizons and work on other artists and other things like that. So that's really fun. But yeah, if you see St. Dominic's Trio, it's really just the smaller version of the Belfast Cowboys. And sometimes, we've been St. Dominic's Trio, and there'll be 10 players there. Like we played at the Driftwood when Ryan David Young of Trampled by Turtles joined us, and all 4 of the horns. We were a 10-piece at the Driftwood, and almost outnumbered the crowd. So.
I was trying to picture 10 band members up performing there. That
we had once Eric Johnson, one of our trombone players. He danced on the bar, and there have been some wild nights at the wild nights at the Driftwood Char Bar, and looking forward to going back there and having a few more.
Absolutely. Sounds like you're on track.
Yeah,
for that to happen.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Oh my gosh. So sold out show at Hook and Ladder. Is that outdoors? Is that going to be outdoors, or is?
Yeah, they call it the Under the Canopy series.
Oh, that's right.
And they've got shows lined up all summer. So check that out. Some great shows happening at the Hook. It's in their parking lot, and they've got like it's tented, I guess. I really don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know how they're going to cram 200 people in that parking lot, but they have it all figured out, and it's going to be socially distanced too. And you can only buy pods. You can't buy single tickets. You have to get a table of 2, 4, or 6 so that you're within your bubble of people that you hang with, and hopefully keep, keep the danger down and let people enjoy some live music again.
Absolutely. I'm trying to picture how that I may have to just do a drive-by that night and see what's going on. Like, what are y'all doing? Get my binoculars, spy on the show.
I'll let you know. I have confidence that they know what they're doing. They're pretty great at the Hook. They're pretty sharp. And they did all these live streams that like the Cowboys did Hook streams from the Hook and Ladder Theater, and that was great. A great way for all of us to play together, and we even made some money with people on their couches, dialing in and paying the $10 or $15 or whatever it was, and just sitting on their couches and watching the band play. So that was fun. That helped too.
I'm sure. Seems like you've really found a good way to balance out how to get your fix of music in as well. Yeah. Like, I know it's been really tough for musicians in general during this time, and to put out a brand new album.
Yeah. Live. It's out of necessity. What else are you going to do, right? We had to do something. Yes. I mean, we played up until 2020, we played somewhere between 100 and 125 shows a year. So you can't just stop. You have to keep playing. Otherwise, your hands are going to fall off from inactivity or something. So
can't have that.
Yeah. So yeah, we were lucky enough to find some good ways to keep it going.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for putting out new music. I love this album. I think it's incredible. I can't believe I have not seen you all live yet. I feel very embarrassed as a local music host to say this publicly. I know. I know. Shame on me, but I'm going to fix that.
All right. Good.
This summer, for sure.
All right. You're on. I'll hold you to it.
Okay. Okay. All right. You heard it here first. I am on the hook now.
Yep.
So it will be. I will definitely. I can't wait because that album is so great. It's so fun. It's very upbeat. You just that moment in time. You just would never guess like everything that was to follow after that. It just sounds so great.
Thanks. That's great to hear. I'm really happy to hear that.
So congrats on that, and in-person shows coming up. Like it sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to see you guys out there.
Yes.
I know the band is chomping at the bit too.
I'm sure everyone is. I mean, I feel that way too. It's like, oh my gosh, are we going to be doing something soon? Like, are we going out? What's happening? What we gotta go. I'm vaccinated. Let's go.
Oh, it's time. I waited until everybody in the band was fully vaxxed with the 14 days afterwards, and we're all lucky enough to find our shots early, and so here we go. Yeah, can't wait.
Well, awesome. Terry, thank you so much for joining me on the show, and congrats again on the album and everything that's to come after that.
It's really been a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks a lot for inviting me and listening and having me on here.
Absolutely.